$29 down. And payments as low as $99 a month. Yes! Now through Monday, $29 down and $99 a month. Yeah. $29 delivered. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name is Mike Amos. His name is Bill Rice, Jr., and his name is Forrest Lee as we start a Monday, the 15th of June? 14th of June. And we're moving right on. For long, we'll be looking at for the 4th of July and then football season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not far away. Go ahead and buy your tickets.
Exactly, and Troy has a fantastic home schedule, as we've talked about a pretty good bit.
They sure do.
Yeah, Father's Day's coming up next weekend.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, the big news right off the bat, Drew Nelson of Pike Liberal Arts was a #1 pitcher in the state of Alabama this year. And that was a nice little omen to finish a year, and he's only a junior. What do you think?
Well,
Brian?
he's named to the Dothan Eagles Super 12 baseball team after last year. And I note, Mike, looking at it real fast, that most of these players are seniors, but Drew, of course, was a junior, so he's got one more year.
That's right.
But it gives the stats. Let me look at it real quick. 8-1 record. 0.94 ERA. Mm-hmm. We all know that if you're under 3, that's a great ERA.
Under 1.
24 walks, 21 hits in 52 innings, 97 strikeouts in 52 innings. Mm-hmm. So he's striking out almost 2 batters an inning.
That's the Dothan, but the AISA Player of the Year is Maze White from Pike Lib. Pitcher of the Year, Drew Nelson of Pike Liberal Arts, and Drew's first team as a junior pitcher, Mays senior shortstop infielder, Levi Sykes was the designated hitter. I believe he was honorable mention, but player, that's the Dothan. This is the state level by the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Yeah. And we got some other local players, and we'll get to those.
This is the one I like. This is all of the schools. And Tucker Gilchrist. Have you ever heard that name coming out of my mouth? Look out for the great Tucker, shortstop for Brantley, Tucker Gilchrist. Made first team All-State.
Hitter of the year.
I noticed that the Dothan Eagle does a great job of high school coverage. I thank them for doing that.
Well, this right here.
And they of those Super 12, there's only one that's an AISA player. That's Drew. But they're all the great baseball teams we talked about on the show, from GW Long, Ayrton, Enterprise, Dothan, Headland.
I think on the other side of the paper he has the all-state players, but also from Brantley, besides Tucker, who was named hitter of the year, Mark Nichols, he's a pitcher, he's a senior. Jack Kennedy, a designated hitter, senior, all first team. Second team was Dalton Daniels, a catcher.
Where are these people from?
Brantley, all of them from Brantley.
Oh, okay.
And infielder Carson Jones, he's a senior. So Brantley had 5 on the all-state team.
But the thing that's so impressive, though, you're talking about the Dothan Eagle, aren't you?
No.
Are you talking about the real, the all-state?
This is the all-state.
Well, I tell you, that is an honor right there for them to have that many players to be put on that team. And, of course, again, when you got the kid like Pike Liberal Arts has, he can understand why they won that many state championships. Of course, have the #1 player and the #1 pitcher in the whole state of Alabama.
I've got all-state for softball and baseball locally whenever we want to.
Well, we'll go ahead and take it right here. Right
Charles Henderson has 2.
Oh,
Mackenzie
really?
Kane, first team. She is a junior designated hitter. Mackenzie Kane, I think she hit 15 home runs this year.
I know, that's great.
And Madison Stewart is a junior outfielder, a second team All-State for Charles Henderson. Her daddy Tommy works here at Troy Cable.
And he's a
2A,
fine young man too.
yeah, 2A first team. Morgan Ferguson from GW Long. This is softball. Allie Whitehead from GW Long. Honorable mention, McKenna Long from GW Long. Pitcher of the Year, Morgan Ferguson, GW Long. And 1A softball. First team, pitcher, Kaylee Navarre, sophomore, Brantley. Infielder, Caden Dunn, Brantley, junior. Designated hitter, Ansley Watts, Brantley, sophomore. All of those are first team.
And they're all underclassmen.
Yeah. Second team, infielder Campbell Hawthorne is a sophomore. Outfielder, second team, Ely Layton is Brantley, senior. And also from Brantley, the designated hitter, Shantae Barganier. She's a junior from Brantley. Player of the Year, Caden Dunn, Brantley. Pitcher of the Year from Brantley, Kaylee Navarre. Hitter of the Year, Caden Dunn, Brantley. All this is first team, all state.
This is class
That's 1A.
1A, yeah.
And AISA softball first team, Amity White, Pike Liberal Arts. She's the sister of Maze White.
Guten Morgen.
Abby Henderson from Crenshaw.
What grade is
She's
the
a
white
sophomore.
girl? Yeah.
And Abby Henderson from Crenshaw is a sophomore. First team AISA, second team Morgan Bundy from Pike Liberal
Morgan
Arts.
Bundy, yes sir.
And, that was softball, but one thing I wanted to interject, Orange Beach won 2A softball.
Yeah.
They had 4 girls. 2 in
great
the 7th
thing.
grade were all state.
Oh my God.
2 in the 8th grade were all state. And they won the state championship.
Oh
so
boy,
look out for Orange Beach.
that's
That's
quite a
2A.
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And but I've got baseball just whenever you get
Yeah,
ready.
well, I like hearing it, but I was looking at baseball over here, and you know, Andalusia had one guy on the state #1 team, and I thought that was a pretty good season for him and the Andalusia Bulldogs.
You know what? I'm just glad they got to play. They all had good seasons. They'll have great memories from playing. Some of them will earn scholarships because they got to play. So, you know, last year they didn't get to finish this year. So,
Hey, Michael, did you read an article on Alabama.com by the superintendent of the state of Alabama? Is it Mackey? He mentioned in an article this Friday or Saturday that if we didn't have more vaccinated students,
Yeah.
that he foresees the rescheduling or canceling some of volleyball and football for this fall.
Oh boy.
That's his projection.
I think I've done a little bit of that.
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you this. I think they ought to get a shot, but you know, I don't know if you can force them to get a shot, and gosh, that would be tough.
Well,
that was strange because I'm going to tell you,
that's what he mentioned.
we just play the whole season of sports now. How many people play high school sports in Alabama? Girls and boys, would you say 500,000?
Yeah.
0 deaths. As far as I know, 0 hospitalizations from COVID. So, you know, the high school athletes in Alabama have no risk from COVID. Now, people over 55 have a risk from COVID, but the people 18 and under do not. So that's it for my editorial comment. Let's move on to something else.
Well, I thought it was
I've got
good.
some
I would say
COVID
I want to mention that Andalusia player with Amos Aiden. Amos Aiden. Or whatever it is. Let's look at the other way. No, let's go this way. It's Amos, Amis, A-M-I-S. But that was Andalusia kid that made first team, all state.
A-M-I-S? I've never
Yeah,
heard
that's
it
right,
spelled
that's
that way.
right.
I've heard A-M-E-S.
It's Aiden, A-Y-D-E-N, A-M-E-I-S. Amos or whatever it's called.
I'm looking at the player of the year from Dothan High School, Chase Alsop. This is the Super 12 in Dothan.
Yeah.
He has a beard thicker than you've got, Michael.
I know it.
Well, I
Probably
don't
not
have much of a beard
You know,
anymore.
I don't think they should let high school kids have a beard like that. That's not good.
He looks like he's about 23, 25.
All right, let's go over that Super 12 right now. Who are the guys?
Chase Alsop from Dothan High School, Terrell George Mills of Dothan. You know, used to have Northview and Dothan High School. I guess we just have Dothan now. Parker Sessions of Enterprise.
He's from,
Well, he
he
must
used
be
to
a
be in
good
Troy.
one.
He used to
Really?
live in Troy, yeah.
All
Keith,
right.
Keith Sessions.
Oh,
son.
really? Okay, yeah.
Well,
I can't think
we're
of his
claiming
last
Parker then. Hess Horn from Eufaula. He also looks like he's about 25.
I think that's who Gracious Scarborough date.
Joe Watkins from Rehoboth. Bryce Cunningham from Headland. That's where Tommy Parrish grew up. Braden Harvin from Houston Academy. Jake Smith of Providence Christian. That's where Kenny Keith's the
That's
head
right.
coach and athletic director. Nash Evans from Ayrton. Carson Dunlap from GW Long. Trevor Morris from GW Long, and Drew Nelson from Pike Liberal Arts. That's the Super 12.
Oh boy, that's a good-looking group. Now you know a lot of these kids that played these were non-classification. These were just
Yeah, this is
voted
everybody.
the best player. Yeah.
So that is all 7 classifications in public schools and all 3 in private schools. This is the best of the best according to the Dothan Eagle in the RR in the Wiregrass, I guess.
Well, let's get started this morning with Forrest Lee's report.
Saw the great Ned Beatty passed away. Of course, he was known for squealing like a pig out in the woods of Georgia.
Yeah.
Ned Beatty. Oh no, really?
He was a great actor.
But you know why he's getting that, don't you?
Oh
Yeah,
no,
we got it.
that was the scene
Down,
everybody
down, down,
remembered.
down, down. I'd like somebody to play it. Down, 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 down. Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was in it.
You know that movie made Burt Reynolds famous, right there.
I think it did.
And
John
Ned,
Boyd, too. John Boyd was great in it.
yeah, that's right.
There it
Yeah.
is. It's a fantastic movie. It was written by a guy who was really a poet. I read the book.
Please don't tell me that was your favorite movie, though. I don't want to hear that.
It's up there. It's a great movie. And I think that they really did
Is that in Georgia?
flood all that area and make a big lake. That's why they went on that river ride, because they were getting ready to make a big lake. You know what that lake is today?
Lanier?
It's
Well,
like Burton.
I think it's the lake where Coach Saban has a lake.
That's
now.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
I
so.
think Michael's right.
But that was some
Georgia.
movie. Ned Beatty in what was the name of the song?
You know, they actually
Deliverance.
found those
Deliverance.
characters
Julian Banjos.
in the movie. I've seen a backstory on it. Those were actual locals.
They look local. They really look
Well,
local.
the taxi driver at the end of the scene, he used to cut hair in LaGrange, Georgia. He cut my hair one time. One time.
And
think his
John Lou
name.
Womble said he sold him a beer, whatever, you know.
Isn't that something? People remember that movie, and they remember that was
right.
Ned Beatty. But Ned Beatty had a lot of good parts, and he was called. He is a character actor that a character actor is somebody that's never the star,
Yeah.
but he plays little supporting roles. And
How old was Ned Beatty? Probably 90, wasn't he?
83.
He was 83.
83.
He was in Superman, too. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
He was in an excellent movie called Network. Didn't have a big part, but he had a pivotal part in the movie. For our movie buff fans out there will remember, Faye Dunaway was in Network. That's the movie where the guy, the TV anchor, gets everybody in America. He says, "I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore." This is what he says on the set of his TV news program. And before you know it, everybody in America is yelling out their windows the same thing.
Yeah.
They eventually kill that guy.
He left his mark. He had 8 children with 3 different marriages.
He did well. What else we got going?
Today is National Flag Day, and it's
Flag
the
Day.
birthday of the United States Army. We have this past weekend Seth Tate, Ashley Witherton's Tate's son, Jeff Tate's son, married Bailey T.
Johnny Witherington's son. Yeah.
Grandson. Yeah, they were married this weekend.
Yeah. Congratulations.
You know, you were talking about baseball, but UMS Wright, Kevin Rayleigh's the Player of the Year in Alabama, and he allowed only 13 hits this season as a pitcher.
All year?
And
who is this kid
his
now?
name is Kevin Rayleigh. He's going to sign with Mississippi State. He was 7-0. There were only 13 hits against him.
How many innings did he pitch, does it say?
49 innings.
13 hits and 49 innings.
And the softball player of the year is a Michigan signee, Annabelle Woodruff from Spain Park.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to Mike earlier, you know, I kind of looked up the baseball drafts. It's coming up in about a month. Of the top 29 players listed, 14 of them are in high school. And you're talking between $10 million all the way down to about $3 million signing bonus. Crazy.
Well, the Garrett kid that lived in Troy his first 8 years was one of those kids that got one of those big bonuses.
You know, it amazes me though, all these good players, and there are a lot of pitchers. How about this Headland pitcher? He was 6-1, and he struck out. 76 batters in less than something like 71 innings or something. That's tremendous. And he I don't know where he's going, but they say he's a real good pitcher. And also Hess Horn, the kid from Eufaula, and you know, Eufaula doesn't produce a lot of baseball players, but this kid, you had to remember him. He batted .478 and had 6-2 record in pitching, and so that was a great pitcher out of Eufaula. First time.
I tell you what, we had a major upset college baseball
Sure did.
over the weekend. NC State traveled to Fayetteville. Arkansas was the number one team in the country, number one seed, and NC State lost the first game. Arkansas scored 21 runs against them. And then NC State came back and won the next two in Fayetteville in front of a sold-out stadium.
Oh, my God.
Incredible for them to win that series.
Each of the next two games were one-run games. Force is showing it to me here. So they get blown out 21-2 in the first game, and then they win the second 6-5, and the rubber game 3-2.
Yep.
Shows you it doesn't matter how much you lose by, does it?
You know,
There's
Texas.
got to be some heartbroken fans. I think for sure they thought they were going to go to Omaha.
Yeah. Well, right now there's 6 teams that are going to Omaha. They are making arrangements or have made arrangements. North Carolina State, Texas, Tennessee from the Southeastern Conference, Vanderbilt from the Southeastern Conference, Arizona, and Stanford. Today at 10 o'clock, Dallas Baptist will play Virginia. The winner will go to Omaha. And at 4 o'clock today, Notre Dame will be playing versus Mississippi State at 4 o'clock. Winner goes to Omaha.
So what Mississippi State got beat yesterday, I guess, by Notre Dame?
Yeah, Mississippi State won the first game 9-8. Then Notre Dame defeated Mississippi State 9-1, and they play today, so they have split. But Dallas,
Tennessee is going, and then Alabama beat Tennessee in the SEC tournament, didn't they?
Yeah, and then they got blown out.
well, we got 6 of the 8.
Yeah, Tennessee beat LSU. LSU's coach Maneri is retiring now, so they'll be having a new coach at LSU. I'm sure a lot of people want that job.
I just got a note. A lot of people are talking about this kid that pitches for Rehoboth that has really had a great year, and that in a short time. I can hardly talk this morning. I'm sorry about that. But also the kid Parker Sessions, like you said, grew up right here in Troy from Enterprise. But I didn't see our Mays on the Super 12. I can't.
No, he was Player of the Year for AISA
I know,
for
and
the
I
state
can't
of
believe-
Alabama.
Somebody missed the boat there. I think.
Well, he's going to Florida State, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Well,
And,
you're talking all classes there.
yeah, that's right.
But feel like he would have made at least. I don't think they have an honorable mention there.
But this kid from the kid that I was talking about, the pitcher from Nash Evans, a kid out of Arrington. He's a kid that is going to go somewhere. He struck out 110 batters during the season, and had a 1.23 ERA. He's a real good one out of Arrington, and Arrington went a long ways, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Landon Thrash was All-State,
Oh, yeah.
first team in baseball. And that his grandparents are, Adams Nuthouse.
Well,
But
no,
Landon used to live in Troy. That's his grandparents.
You
But
know what?
also, my buddy, the Thrashes are good friends of mine too.
The
Dana,
metric
Dana.
I look at for baseball pitchers is strikeouts per inning pitched. And I don't see anybody that's close to Drew Nelson. 97 strikeouts in 52 innings.
That is just phenomenal. The
So
young
that's
man is phenomenal.
almost 2 strikeouts an inning.
They say he's playing in an elite league in Atlanta. They say he's playing in a league, a real elite league that they travel in paper.
Well, all
over the
these
country.
kids are, they've been playing travel ball since they were 12 years old, and so these guys are good.
And it's amazing about all these athletes, and most of them are either a pitcher catcher or pitcher shortstop.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, it's amazing how good these players are in the Wiregrass. Another guy that everybody talks about is a shortstop that plays at GW Long named Trevor Morris. Have y'all ever heard of that name?
He's All-State.
He-
First
he-
team.
I have now.
He's a real good
Junior.
player. Yeah, and another junior in the bunch. So he's quite a player.
He looks like an athlete. I'm looking at this picture right there.
Yeah, I know it, yeah. And he also steals a lot of bases.
You don't see that much anymore in baseball,
no,
do
you
you?
don't. No, you don't.
Remember Ricky Henderson and who were some of the other great base stealers?
Vince Coleman.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had a bunch of good base stealers.
Lou Brock.
Lou Brock, yeah. How about Lou Brock?
They would call it a Ricky Henderson run. Ricky Henderson would walk. He also, I think, led the major leagues in walks. So that's a great statistic. Then he would steal second. Then he'd move over to third on the sacrifice ground ball. Then he would score on the sacrifice fly. So he would score with nobody even getting a hit in the inning. And they did that all the time.
Yeah, the Braves had a guy named Otis Nixon that could steal a lot of bases. Back in, I guess when they won their World Series, he's a real good outfitter too. Can't hit that much, but he definitely can steal bases.
Back then, they take a shortstop, and they didn't care where he didn't bat, but 199.
yeah, that's
The
right.
shortstop was just so valuable for the team,
That's right. Ozzie Smith was.
Yeah, Ozzie Smith probably hit like 240, 250
That's
for his
right.
career.
That's right.
He was always a bad hitter, but then late in his career, I think he had 1 or 2 years where he had a pretty good batting average. So
But
he was born in Alabama and is in the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame per your magazine.
That's right.
You messed up and left me.
Hey, I bought another one, and I forgot to bring it. Gosh, well. But this week, and of course, it's got a lot of information in it, a lot of schedules of teams, and that's what I'm looking for.
That's what
the
you
other
like,
day.
yeah.
And see who.
I'll bring
everybody's
your
playing.
magazine back tomorrow.
Well, okay.
I've been studying it.
I want you to be able to get the information out of there, though. We're mentioning also this week, we're mentioning the very illustrious candidates for the Tip Collie Award, and we want everybody to know how impressed we were with that group of people.
Isn't the U.S. Open golf tournament coming up?
Yes, it's this week, isn't it, Mike? Is it this week, Mike?
Michael, can you hear
He's
us?
our golf guy.
Yeah, it's like this week.
Torrey Pines?
Well, the U.S. Open.
I guess John Rahm's cleared to play.
a new guy won yesterday. I can't think of his name, but here the Tip Collie.
Oh, yeah, I know it, yeah.
When y'all get ready for him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what else is going on?
Well, let's see. What's happening in the world?
Well, here's something I want to throw out. It deals with COVID, but a federal judge, Lynn Hughes of Houston, there were 178 employees who filed a motion for a lawsuit that they
Didn't want to get
didn't
the
want
vaccine.
to take the vaccine.
And the hospital said, yes, you are going to get the vaccine or we're going to fire you.
And the judge said, yes, you will, or you can find somewhere else to work.
And that's the bottom line.
That's what she said.
And now, what's the law look at there?
That's the law.
That's
what
what
the judge says.
She threw out the lawsuit. She said, in a scathing ruling, she deemed that the vaccines are not experimental or dangerous. They're false and otherwise irrelevant. And it said
Their claims were false and irrelevant.
that the vaccine requirement is not.
In other words, if an employer wants
And
to
that hospital.
mandate that you get the vaccine, and you, for whatever reason, say no, I don't want the vaccine,
He can
like
fire
the judge says, if you don't want to get the vaccine, that's fine, but you're not working for that business anymore because they can fire you. And that hospital has fired 178 people.
Unless
Oh,
they take
boy.
the vaccine. But they said they will appeal.
So
But is that ruling, does that count throughout the whole country, or just that city, just that entity?
I think it's a federal judge, so
Will it
yeah,
go to
I
the
would
Supreme Court?
think that everybody that is dealing with this decision, which is every business, just paid big time attention to that ruling because that tells them, yes, if we want to mandate the vaccine, we can do that. Now it'll go through the appeals process, so these things. But the way I look at it, these courts they're all gonna back up each other. I've said all along that they're going to, if you want to mandate it, they're going to be able to mandate it.
Say you want to go to the ZYX food store. You got to show proof that you've had a vaccine before you enter our store. All right, you show them your card. How do they know whether or not that card is counterfeit or not? You get away with counterfeit driver's license. So
That's
if
right.
you have a
There's
requirement,
already a market for bogus counterfeit
cards.
cards. But the other thing they're going to do is you ever heard the expression they've got an app for that, a computer app? These vaccine passports, what they want to make it do is be digital, so you show them your phone, and they scan something and say, oh yeah, Bill's had his vaccine. Come on in, Bill. We want you in here.
Well, we mentioned it last week, but our daughter Abby has got to take a COVID test this Wednesday, and she has to have her results before she lands in Hawaii, and they'll text it to her via phone. Well, our nephew works for the railroad in Atlanta. He has had his vaccines. Not only that, he must also have to take a COVID test before he can enter the country, even though he's had a vaccine, and that's Hawaii. Now, I think if you go intercontinental of the United States, say you want to fly from here to Detroit, Michigan, you're not required to have a vaccine or have a test card or anything like that.
Right, Hawaii's
You have to
different.
you have to wear a mask.
Y'all, I want to tell you this. We love to jump back and forth on this show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, we hope that you're enjoying it. But this might be the biggest sports weekend of the year. Now, I want you to hear this. You got the NBA playoffs, the championships are going on right now. You've got Stanley Cup hockey, whoever is interested.
Yeah.
You've got French Open tennis, whoever else is open.
That was something.
And the Braves, hear this. I want you to hear this now. Now, you folks, you got kids, 8, 9, 10, 11, kids that understand who the Braves are. They play Red Sox on Tuesday and Wednesday. They play the Cardinals on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the Mets, then they go to the Mets. But what a weekend for baseball. And why
Oh,
not
yes, sir.
get up and drive over to Atlanta? It's really not a bad trip at all. I've driven it many times to watch a ball game, but
Yeah,
why
the
not?
new stadium's an extra 30-minute drive, though, probably
Yeah.
to get there compared to the one downtown.
I know it, and I would go. You could go Birmingham route. You know, people don't go Birmingham routes to Atlanta much, but you could go that way. You know, if you wanted to.
Just find the seats that are in the shade.
But you know, I don't know if all of these are sellouts. I wouldn't think so. Would you think?
Red Sox probably would be.
I bet Steve could get us some tickets.
NBA ratings are down tremendously, though. You don't have many people.
But you know what? It's amazing you know, seven games you got a chance to watch.
Well, the World Series will start in baseball this weekend. Also, the U.S. Open.
Yeah, wait a minute. I forgot the U.S. Open. I throw in the U.S. Open. Isn't that unreal?
I've been reading a lot of articles in The Athletic, which is a big new sports publication. And I enjoyed the ones on the TV ratings and attendance. And there was a recent story that talked about, will attendance bounce back up this year post-COVID? So there's a good debate. A lot of people say, oh, there's pent-up demand. People really miss the game, so attendance is going to be really up this year. Other people say, no, it's going down. You know, the economy has a lot to do with it. The high-def big TVs have a lot to do with it. So it will be interesting to see this year if, throw out 2020, just see what attendance, say, in college football is in 2021 compared to, say, 2019. I personally think that the trends are declining attendance, and it has more to do with people trying to save money by not going to expensive games, and they just like watching so many games on their flat screen TV.
I mean, really, again, and let's try to talk a little bit about it. We don't know much about it, but also you got to look at soccer. See, it's going on big this week. I've never seen any more big sporting events than this week right here.
There actually was a soccer player who had a heart attack,
Yeah.
and they brought him back to life on the field, and I do not know his name, but it happened in a big game in Europe.
You know who did that? You remember the high school coach that did that this past year with a player?
Coach Moore.
Lives in Troy.
Who did it? Wait a minute.
Yeah, he's the Dale County or something. He was a coach out of town, but he still lives in Troy. And a player had a cardiac arrest in practice, and they had a defibrillator in the athletic department. And this coach knew how to use it and is credited with saving this young man's life, just like this soccer player.
You're right. That's unreal. And of course, another event is the United States finals to see who's going to represent Alabama. I mean, the United States in
The Olympics?
Yeah, the Olympics, the diving championship.
You know, we haven't even talked to any about the Olympics, but I hope they have them, because every year, every time they come on, I get interested in them. How about you?
Then again, everybody's got to talk about the baseball. But this, again, is unreal, all the things that are going on. The golf championships, the U.S. Open, and the baseball all over the place for college and the Braves.
Yeah, the Baseball World Series.
I've never seen anything like tennis championships in France. The Stanley Cup over for all you Stanley Cup fans. Yeah. And, of course, the basketball championships. Man, this is one heck of a week. I tell you, it really is.
I just referenced that I read a lot of stories on TV ratings. I'm interested in it. One story I read recently told me something that I didn't know that was surprising. In cities that have hockey teams and basketball teams, look at the local ratings. You know, these local teams have TV networks that do their local games as well. You know that in a lot of these hockey crazy cities, that the hockey outdraws the NBA and TV ratings.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's hard
Not
to
in
believe.
every city, of course, but in Detroit or somewhere, with the red.
Yeah, you're right.
They,
but I can't even
so those
wait,
people that are passionate about hockey, now they won't watch a national game, that involves somebody in California. But when their team is playing, they are going to be watching.
Now they say though, if you go to one in person, it's a lot different. It's a lot more fun to do. But I could not keep my channel on there 30 seconds. Watching.
I'd love to watch one live.
Mike, you're awfully quiet this morning.
Where is the closest hockey? Doesn't Nashville have a team? Yeah,
they have one.
Yeah, Nashville has Predators. Atlanta has a team as well.
Is that big time hockey?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, NHL.
Yeah. All right, Mike, tell us what you've got this morning.
Going on.
You what up? Can't hear you.
You're cutting out, Mike.
They're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Just ready to watch U.S. Open coverage this week.
Yeah, I know. I look forward to that. But again, you got everything in the world to watch. And let me just say this, another thing. If you took a child to a Braves ball game, say 10, 12, 14 years old, or even older, that kid will remember that the rest of his life. I guarantee you, I've gone to Joe Griffin and Bo Gaylord and Jimmy Lawrence took me to an all-star baseball game in Atlanta. The last time Atlanta hosted the all-star game.
They were supposed to have one this.
And,
and
I went to that game, and I can remember it just so.
How old were you? Were you grown up?
I was probably 16, 18 years old. I was still in college. When we went, and had a great time. And of course, but just regular baseball, just Atlanta baseball. I have not seen that new stadium. And
the last Braves game I went to, my publisher at the Montgomery Independent where I worked at, he had season tickets, and he took me and Dad over to a game in Atlanta. And you know who Atlanta was playing? Boston Red Sox, who they're getting ready to play again. And what surprised me is how many Boston Red Sox fans were in that Atlanta stadium. Boy, it was probably 25% of the stadium was Red Sox fans.
And let me tell you
Mike is zooming this morning, Michael.
Michael is zooming. Now he looks good, doesn't he? I tell you what, that's my boy, ladies and gentlemen. Born and raised in Troy, Alabama. Mike Amos now living there.
He's not on the phone.
Great beat.
I lost him on the phone.
And another thing about soccer. I hate to say it, and I know I'm the world's worst about watching a soccer game. I just can't get into it. Look how many teams there are in the United States.
I love watching the World Cup. I really enjoy that when it comes
down
do or die, because it's like the.
How often do they have the World Cup? Is it every
2 years, maybe?
If they score more, they just don't score many points.
They don't score. It's a lot of 0-0 games. You're right. There's no scoring.
Yeah,
that's my problem too.
That seems like it should be more scoring in it than these guys. But more people in the world play soccer than anything.
Have you watched? Talking about The Athletic and ESPN, I go to their website to check sports headlines. It seems to me that 40% of the headlines on ESPN are about international soccer, which tells me that's where the money is globally in sports media coverage is soccer.
Well, I guess the first world time, the best player when soccer came a map for me, or global, was when Pelé was the superstar. He was the first superstar that I can remember. Pelé.
Well, I went to a lot of youth soccer practices and games this past year at Troy Recreation Department, and it seems like everybody plays it. And there's some good little soccer players here in Troy.
All right, fill me in. I want to know who has already made it to the College World Series. Who has already made it? North Carolina State had to beat Arkansas. All right, who won between South Florida and Texas?
Texas.
Texas, of course, they've had good teams.
They swept them.
So they're going to the World Series.
Tennessee beat LSU.
Who beat LSU?
Tennessee.
Tennessee's going. Gosh, that's probably one of the first times they've been going. Is that right, Mike?
Right. Mike's not on the phone.
And the
Vanderbilt.
Congratulations, And for all you folks, ball folks out there, that's the team that what's our guy with Atlanta, the shortstop with Atlanta?
Swanson.
Dansby Swanson.
He's the one Major League Baseball player I know.
Yeah,
They've got two stud
Vanderbilt.
pitchers, Leiter and Rocker.
Let me ask you a question. If Vanderbilt is now a powerhouse in baseball and has been for a couple years, why can't, if they can do it in baseball, why can't they do it in football and basketball?
Very important to
it's-
me right here is Ole Miss and Arizona. Who won that?
Arizona.
Oh boy.
Why is that very important to you?
Well, I wanted to keep the
SEC thing?
SEC
Yeah, that
team
was
in there.
they lost 2 games.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry, interrupt you.
Well, you didn't answer my question. If Vanderbilt can become a power in baseball, why can't they become a power in football and basketball?
It's called Alabama, LSU,
and it's
Georgia.
And you know, don't you know, it's a lot more
That's an answer.
money is involved, you know, than.
But I think they
commitment.
take baseball seriously and they got a tradition. But if they would do the same with basketball, I bet you they could be competitive.
Now,
The first national title they won was in what sport?
Bowling.
Bowling. That's what women's bowling. I love bowling.
yeah, exactly.
I like any sport you can drink beer while you play.
Okay. Now this was a big game. Is the Virginia make it or
No, sir. Virginia Dallas Baptist.
Dallas Baptist?
They'll play today at 10 o'clock
This is your
in
dream
Columbia,
team.
South Carolina. The winner will go to Omaha.
I must say
This
that
is a dream team.
until 2 weeks ago, I had never even heard of a school called Dallas Baptist.
And they're full of Texans.
I have in basketball. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Another thing too. This is good. I bet there's more people from Dallas Baptist going to that game over there. That's going to be a great game.
Well, I'm
It's
pulling
in
for 'em.
Columbia, South Carolina.
And of course, it's Dallas Baptist,
At Founders Park.
DBU versus Virginia. And then this is big.
They might be the coast. Who was the Sun Belt team that won the?
Coastal
Carolina.
Carolina.
Well, the Dallas Baptist might be the Coastal
That's
Carolina.
right, exactly right. I don't want to see Dallas Baptist in the Sun Belt, no.
No.
Notre Dame and Mississippi State. This is a big game today, and
They
tell
play-
us who y'all like.
They play at 4 o'clock
I like Mississippi. I'm pulling for
in
Mississippi State.
Starkville.
I like Mississippi State.
Mississippi State won the first game 9-8. They lost yesterday to Notre Dame 9-1. They play today at 4 o'clock.
Everybody says this Notre Dame team is really good too.
Mississippi State loves their college baseball, and
They do. They're the first ones that started building these big left field structures out there to have a party and while you watch the game.
You know, my friend Al Bracewell grew up in Troy.
Yeah.
Now lives in Birmingham or in Shelby County. His son was a great baseball player for Briarwood Christian High School, a pitcher, and he went to Mississippi State and played for 4 years at Mississippi State.
All right, tell me about Stanford and Texas Tech.
Stanford advances. They swept
They did. They've got
15-3 and 9-0 over Texas Tech. And Texas
Yeah,
Tech was the number 8 seed. Stanford was the number 9 seed.
Of course, it's always a good California team in it, so that's gonna be great. But
So we
I'm
have-
tickled. I mean, I'm sort of tickled that Tennessee made it, and of course, Texas always. That's a tremendous program at Texas. And then the big upset was with North Carolina State. So I think I'm gonna root for North Carolina State or Mississippi State.
North Carolina State would have come to Troy last year if there had been no COVID
That's right.
and played in Veterans Memorial Stadium. Dang it.
Well, you know, you got 2 teams from Tennessee there. Tennessee and Vanderbilt are going. We got North Carolina State, Texas, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Arizona, and Stanford so far.
Who in this tremendous group that I put together here, who can tell me anything about the NBA? Yeah, it's a shame you guys don't watch the NBA.
I've lost
it's a real
interest in it, to be
shame.
honest with you.
I was making a post the other day, and somebody, said something about the NBA. Said, "What would you rather watch, a women's college World Series game or an NBA game?" And most people said women's college World Series.
But let me
and
tell
I
you
said,
this,
I'm kinda like Charles.
I cannot remember the last NBA game I watched from start to finish. I said it was probably when Michael Jordan was playing.
I saw Michael Jordan play too.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Mike. Like Charles Barkley, he's for anybody but the super teams. The super teams that have been outmassed. Hey, buddy, let's go play for so and so. Let's handpick who we want to play with, and let's win us a championship. Charles Barkley said, "I'm for anybody but these super teams."
But let me say this though: this would be a wonderful, wonderful game to watch in person. In person, is to watch NBA, to watch these great athletes jump and shoot. So it's a much better game to watch in person, don't y'all think?
That's whoever
I've
has
never
the
seen it
balls
in person,
will
but
shoot.
yeah, my friend Wes Gaylord loves it, and he makes the point that these are the best athletes in the world.
Well, is Atlanta?
I'm not going to argue with that either.
Is Atlanta still in it?
I believe so.
They-
Phoenix Suns, they're getting, by this weekend, they should be in the conference finals.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Suns are in the finals. In the
about Atlanta?
conference finals. I don't.
I can tell you how fast a good Division I college basketball team is. I've seen some of those, and I can only imagine how fast it is in the NBA. I mean, how fast they get up and down the court.
Atlanta's still in it. They're still in this thing.
Yeah, I think they're doing good.
Maybe we should start rooting for them a little bit. Of course, car racing is in it, and it big. Anybody can give me.
I used to watch the Hawks when Ted Turner owned the Hawks.
Yeah.
Remember, he owned the Braves, but he owned the Hawks too. And
exactly.
you remember they had a center named Tree Rollins, and
I remember Trey Wiley played at Georgia Tech, didn't he?
they had a guard, Fast Eddie Johnson, I think, that was from Auburn.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well,
they were pretty good.
Maravich played.
They had Dominique Wilkins later on.
Pistol Pete Maravich played for Atlanta, and I think he played for them, and then later on played for that New Orleans team.
Yep, you're right.
But boy, again, it's a wonderful day. And also, I want to mention it is over at Troy University. We've got our
Orientation.
Orientation. All the parents are coming in, and you people are watching our show. We're our daily show, brought to you by some wonderful, wonderful people, and of course, especially our Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks dealership right here in Troy, and of course, they're dealing. I wonder how many people took advantage of that. $29 down and $99 a month. I believe I could have bought a car at that rate.
I'd buy a new vehicle if it was that, but those are used cars.
Well, and of course, Premier.
The used cars are good too.
Ram trucks.
In the NBA, Mike, Philadelphia leads Atlanta 2-1. They'll play the winner of Milwaukee and Brooklyn. That series is tied 2-2. Utah leads the Los Angeles Clippers 2-1. And Phoenix defeated Denver 4 games straight. So those are the teams left in the NBA playoffs.
Good luck to them.
And those games should be through by this Sunday, and then we'll know who's in the Final Four, so to speak.
I can tell you what's going on locally that a lot of people are interested in: Vacation Bible Schools.
Come to Vacation Bible School. Come to Vacation Bible School.
You remember that?
Yeah. That
First Methodist Church started last night. I know this because my wife is one of the organizers of it, and they have little skits for the kids every day, and my wife has a leading role in these skits. So I have to read her lines.
Okay.
And I have a new respect for actors. I say, how do you remember all these words, even for a little Vacation Bible School skit? But they got started last night. My wife said it went fine. She and Dusty Taylor, who was her leading man in this play, seemed to pull off their little skit last night. But now they got another skit tonight, so we got to read through our lines today to get ready.
You remember this from Vacation Bible School? Onward, Christian soldiers, marching off to war. with the cross of Jesus.
I know that song, but I never went to Vacation
That was that
Bible
march.
School.
That was always a march.
I went to St. Mark's Episcopal Church, and we didn't have Vacation Bible School.
Well, shame on you. Come to Vacation Bible School today, wherever you are.
You went to First Baptist Vacation Bible
Yeah, I
School?
sure did. And I
Forrest,
always
did you go
look
to
forward to the
Vacation Bible
Kool-Aid.
School?
I don't remember. Maybe
I'd always
I was in
look forward to the Kool-Aid. And I'd have
They didn't
Kool-Aid
have any of these
stains all
country
over
churches
my
in
mouth.
Goshen.
At that time, we didn't.
I wonder what Nick would say this morning. Good morning, Nick. Good
Welcome
to see you.
back.
Well,
Mike.
where you been?
I don't know. I've got no cell service here in Graydon. You got so many people down here on Verizon, I guess. I barely have one bar.
I tell you what, it's a huge crowd down there. I was down
just
there
lost
this
you,
weekend, and it was a big crowd. But we had fun with your little children. It was a lot of fun.
Where do you see people from? What states are the most conspicuous?
You know, I ask people on the beach a lot where they're from.
Tennessee, Texas, and Louisiana here.
I tell you what.
In Indiana, there was a lot of Indiana folks there because they were from all over, though. I talked to a lot of
Tennessee, Texas, and Louisiana. There you
That's
go.
right.
When I was riding to work or to the studio this morning, traffic was already backed up at the light, taking a left to get on 231, coming from the Elba Highway.
Yeah.
And I saw 3 or 4 Tennessee tags.
Yeah.
They're leaving
Going
early.
north. They're leaving.
Lost about 3.
But now they, from here, though, going through Enterprise is probably the best route to the beach.
Well,
from here.
that was coming from Enterprise.
Or then to come to go.
I
think by far, though, the best place to go is through Elba.
I didn't
down
like
to-
that story AL.com did about places to stop when going or coming from the beach. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It had 8 places.
all
And they didn't have any,
331
they
related.
didn't listen any from Highway 231 in Troy and Brundage. I'm going to write the editor.
Yeah, that was obviously somebody heading from Tuscaloosa because I mean they had Jim's Barbecue on there. Who would think of going to Jim's Barbecue going to the beach?
You're right.
you're
You're right.
right.
You're exactly right.
Well,
It don't matter. It don't matter.
it was on there, yeah.
It was
And
okay.
the
It
Chicken
don't
Shack
matter.
was not. The Chicken Shack should have been on there.
You know what? Those folks over there need to invite me over there to eat with them, Mike. It don't matter, does it? It
They
don't
could
matter.
stop-
It don't
they
matter
could-
which way you go.
Apparently they do breakfast. Why don't you just go there and eat breakfast one morning?
Yeah, I know it. I need to. I need to.
They could stop at the Pioneer Museum of Alabama. They could go to the Terracotta Warriors
I see Troy
Amphitheater.
University, the beautiful Troy
Alabama's
University.
most beautiful campus. They could zip off and go see in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, that's one thing that we need like 2 or 3 nice entry points to Troy University where people know, hey, there's Troy University.
We've talked
You know,
about
I've
It's
told
like
them.
like a big
this.
super archway.
Miss Hawkins wants to do that. And
We
she,
need
All
3
right.
of them.
Let me tell you something too, and I really think I know what I'm talking about here, even though I'm real hoarse this morning. All right, you know, you go to any major interstate, you see these giant green signs up high.
Right.
All right, that green sign up high should say Troy University to the left. The big thing, Troy University to the left. There's not a sign like that.
well, that's
I mean, it might- it
because
might be
we're
a-
not on the interstate.
But
Those
what
are
I'm
all
saying is,
interstate
and,
zones.
another thing, it's a small thing that says Troy University, but we ought to really address the fact that you turn left or right. then go
Getting back
Troy
to Forrest's
University.
point, I did a big story on the beautification of Troy's campus for Troy Life a couple of issues ago, and I interviewed Miss Hawkins, who's really been the moving force behind this beautification effort, Chancellor Hawkins' wife, Janice. And I asked her, what's on the wish list, you know, what's coming, and she said some big, pretty entranceway at George Wallace Drive to let everybody know that this is the entrance to Troy University. Now, Forrest takes it further and says they ought to do it to 3 other places.
The first one ought to be on Trojan Terrace, a real big one, because you got the room to do it. Now, where Sonic in that substation, that would be difficult. You may have to back it up because you would have to go. I don't know if there's that much room to do it on the Sonic side. Plus, you have that big
Right, where
electrical unit right there at that
You might have to do
new
something.
Mexican restaurant. You may have to back that one up. But even on South Brundage Street, I think you could put one in somehow
They're doing it in
there.
Tuscaloosa. You see on McFarland on
yeah,
82.
they are, yeah.
They're building some big, huge thing.
But I would like to say that it is a great time to get out, and weather-wise, it's beautiful and all that. And
I've always thought.
I don't know about that. It's real hot.
Yes,
well, this morning it feels pretty good. I felt the breeze, man.
The easiest entrance into
we had the first rain down here in 3 weeks.
the easiest entrance way into the campus. Tell me if y'all agree or not. Is Madison and Montgomery Street, straight down to the lagoon.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a new way out. Yeah.
Now, but you turn right right when you get to Troy, right by Murphy Street.
Yeah.
To get there. Now it's just houses on Montgomery Street, old houses, and then, the front porch and Bo Coppedge's convenience store. But I think it really is the fastest way, and maybe you could beautify that whole stretch.
Well, the archway would be almost, you couldn't see the archway from 231 hardly because of the railroad
No, you couldn't do that. No way.
bridge.
But
that's another way to get into and out of the college that a lot of people don't know about.
I like the use of downtown. They had a big wedding downtown this weekend, and that was the Teal girls' wedding, and everybody told me that is a beautiful place to have a wedding.
Well, I believe they got married at Bush's,
Yeah.
Bush Memorial.
Bush Memorial, and then the reception was at the market.
Yeah, that's
call it
right.
the
The
warehouse.
warehouse downtown, and formerly wood furniture.
Yeah, Abby did the wedding photos.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's a good big. That's
I'll
a
tell
big,
you,
big wedding right there.
Another superstar is Jennifer Lindsay, and where her husband does the video. Does video.
Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
Duncan.
Yeah.
But Jennifer, she goes ahead of time, and she starts laying out the basics of what the wedding venue is going to look, where they're going to get married. And then as the wedding's going on, she paints the wedding, and she it looks like a true picture of the couple that's getting married.
She does a live portrait is what they call it.
Live portraits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's
I know a lady
phenomenal.
Well,
Montgomery that
she
does
was very
that.
sweet. I know her very well. Know her parents very well.
Is her maiden name Dunn?
Dunn, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she's
Carol
got-
Dunn, the late Carol Dunn.
Well, she does the live portrait,
grew up
and
with
then Duncan does the video, and then Abby does the stills. All right.
I tell you what,
Well, for that
anything
particular
Duncan has a company called Deer Stand Hill. That's his media outlet.
he does a great job. Duncan is
Duncan's a great guy.
very good friend of mine, and
I can
go
remember
way
when he
back
was
with him.
an offensive lineman at Charles Henderson
Yeah,
Trojans.
exactly,
I got three.
Of course, his daddy was a
beautiful kids.
legend. His daddy was a legendary football player at Charles Henderson High School. Legendary.
And his mother is what's his mother's name?
Montney.
Montney. Yeah, she was
Montney,
Williford.
Yes,
Wasn't
right.
she
She was a Williford,
Son
my Williford
Yeah.
family. And
Yeah,
of course,
Montney.
Richard Williford and Sonny Williford were my best friends.
Let's make
to
it.
this day.
She was
Let's
married
make
to
a
Spencer, right?
Duncan Lindsay day today on Troy.
Duncan Lindsay, who would ever thought Duncan
about
Lindsay would have had a
Duncan
day
and
next
Jennifer
to
Lindsay?
him?
Well, you usually do older
about
people.
I know,
female?
I know this.
The couple-
We're
couple
fixing to
of
go
them,
on a break, and it's going to be called the First Citizen Bank break today, and we'll be back.
And
Good.
I don't think they
Good,
got us.
good.
We're still
I
alive.
hear some feet
I hear
shuffling.
my feet running to it.
There's sisters.
Okay.
Hit the commercial.
29 down and payment as low as $99 a month. Yes. Now through Monday, 29 down and $99 a month. $29 delivered. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours.
Not because it's free,
But because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Get test results.
refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care.
You know how we all want healthcare to be easier?
But no one seems to listen?
Well, someone did. Southeast Health.
To get your free MyChart app,
visit your app store
or go to southeasthealth.org.
When it comes to surgery, precision is perfection. The very latest technology available ensures the best possible outcome. The Mako Robotic Arm-Assisted Surgery System is now available at Troy Regional Medical Center. Skilled orthopedic surgeon Dr. Robert L. Liljeberg and his team provide patients with faster recovery and better movement after a knee replacement surgery. When accuracy matters, you deserve the very best. Troy Regional Medical Center.
$29 down and payment as low as $99 a month. Yes! Now through Monday, $29 down and $99 a month. $29 delivered. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Print. Shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
We're back.
Back to our
You're on
show,
there right
brought
now.
to you by our good friends at Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Trucks, where they just going through the best deal in the world. If you want a vehicle, how about this? $29 down and $99 a month. That's a pretty good deal.
I would say so.
And of course, we appreciate Jason Gregory, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to say one other thing to Jason. Thank you so very much for from the people of Pike Liberal Arts School. He donated $25,000 to the construction of a new playground facility located at Pike Liberal Arts School. So,
and think of all the enjoyment that the kids will get out of that playground for decades.
Yeah. And of course, also I want to mention all these great baseball people. We can't help but say congratulations to Drew Nelson, the junior left-handed pitcher from Pike Liberal Arts, and then of course the outstanding pitcher from Pike Liberal Arts School, and that's shortstop.
We were talking off air about how you were happy for Tennessee.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to really be happy for their fans since they've had such a rough time in football. You know, Alabama has beaten Tennessee, I think, 15 years in a row.
No, not that many, is it? No,
yes.
It can't be.
14, at least 14.
Now, these were huge rivals.
It's 14 years.
Somebody get on the computer right here, Farley.
They beat them in Saban's first year of 2007, and they haven't lost since. So
okay. He hasn't been there 15 years, though, has he?
This might be.
I think this will be his 15th season.
Check that out, Farley. Farley's my.
But Alabama plays Tennessee in Tuscaloosa this year, so unless the sky falls, Alabama should beat Tennessee this year. So that'll be 15 years in a row. What I'm thinking about, Mike, is it possible that Alabama could beat Tennessee 20 years in a row?
I know it, but gosh.
I mean, knowing how competitive and intense that rivalry was going back to the 20s, that's like almost impossible to fathom.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me.
14 in a row.
Oh, Rocky Top.
Which don't you think it'll be 15 this
year? And they say Bama has beat them 4 times in a row. 14 times in a row.
15 out of 16, because Mike Shula's team should have won in 2006.
Killing.
And beat them in 2005.
Throw out some great names to Tennessee football.
They've been blown out.
See what y'all can do. Throw out some names to Tennessee.
How many times has Mike Shula should have won?
No, but just remember those great linebackers.
Where is Mike Shula coaching now? Is he at the New York Giants?
Yeah, he's in the pros coaching somewhere.
Hey, think about those great linebackers. They were linebacker U at Tennessee for years. The Tennessee linebackers, and I used to look up to them all the time. You know, they'd have I used to name a bunch of them, but
he's a quarterback's coach for the Denver Broncos.
All right,
it
Mike.
would be the greatest, coach ever. That would his dad was a legendary coach. You don't see that much.
I know.
That'd be a great question.
Well, let's name the ones we can think of. The Bowdens. Coach Bowden had 2 sons that became coaches.
I mean, Terry and Tommy were decent coaches. I wouldn't say great.
Mm-hmm.
Derek-
Lou Holt's son has been a coach for a long time. You know, he's like.
Yeah, he's been a decent coach. Derek Dooley was not a good coach.
Yeah.
How about Rex, Bob, and Buddy Ryan?
Yeah, yeah.
The pros.
They've been a head football coach.
Yeah, they have.
In college.
But they're pros, yeah.
Bum Phillips, Wade Phillips.
Yeah,
Wade Phillips, that's a good one. Bum Phillips.
Pros.
Don Shula, Mike Shula.
Let me tell you this. You look at.
But I'm just trying to say, were any of them better than their dad?
Yeah, none of them are better than their dad. That's a good point. The son, you
mean,
can't
like,
think of a coach where the son was better than the dad.
Like Shane Beamer is now the head coach of South Carolina, and his dad was the legendary coach at Virginia Tech, Frank Beamer.
But he's fit to get his chance now. Beamer is. Isn't
Mike and Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, now Kyle Shanahan's a good coach.
Monty Kiffin and Lane.
Right. Yeah, the Lane.
But Monty was never a head coach.
Monty was never a head coach.
Yeah, let's see.
You know, here's a companion piece to that provocative question there, Michael. Is actors that you have a lot of parents and children that have both went into the acting profession, so any that the children surpass the parent, and I can think of two right away.
Michael Douglas.
Well, I don't know if he surpassed
Michael Douglas
Kirk.
is a good actor, though.
He might have been close to his daddy, Kirk Douglas. And then Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda was definitely close to her daddy, Hank Fonda.
Yeah.
With her career, you know, forget her politics.
Jeff Bridges was a lot better than his dad.
That's right. Yeah, good one. He might be the winner right there.
Hey, wait a minute.
You might even say Bo was the better dad.
Yeah, I was going to say, but they have two of those guys. You know.
Jeff Bridges is a fantastic actor.
That's why they say a lot of people think Jeff Bridges is one of the best actors out there.
I'm one of them. Yeah. That's. I think Michael just named the winner in that category.
I tell you what, it's been a lot of.
You know, his dad had a good career. You know, he was, but you know, nothing like the stature of his son though.
But that
Peter Fonda is an actor. Was an actor.
That's right. He wasn't near like his dad. He wasn't near the quality actor.
There's actually a lot of them. You know, Ron Howard, that's now a famous director, but you know his daddy was a character actor, and that's how little Ronnie Howard got on the Andy.
I would never know that. You heard trivia that's great.
Kate Hudson and
yeah, Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Was Kurt Russell's daddy in the business?
You know, and one on about Kurt, and that's his daughter.
Right, yeah, that's right. And
but
you know,
Kate Hudson did not have the career that Goldie Hawn had, though. Mom beats daughter there.
Yeah. But there's been a lot of great ones over the years.
I'm watching a show with my wife right now, the series with Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman. It's on HBO, Dirty Lies or something. One of the actresses, got quite a cast, is Laura Dern. Yeah. Her daddy, Bruce Dern, wasn't his name Bruce?
Well, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this.
Bad guy.
He was always a bad guy.
My wife and I have been watching, what is it, Turn? You remember the made-for-television Turn? Y'all know it? It's about the
I've been doing a lot of.
I've been watching it. And it's a George Washington. It's about George Washington and yeah, it was great. It's great, and I'm watching it still. And I'm probably gone 20 sessions already, and still
You're binge watching, yeah.
Watching on Netflix.
On Netflix, and I'm really enjoying it. It's called Turn. That's the thing, you know how you see all these things down there, and he's got that old Revolutionary War hat on, you know.
Well, I want to see that.
Yeah. But it's real good. It's called Turn. You would love it.
Turn, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Who's the story?
No, it's, let's see,
it's
cast
really
is Jamie Bell, Heather Lynn, Samuel J.J. Field. I don't
there's some good. It's really well acted, no question about it, and it really is good. If you want to watch one and just start watching it,
About
and
Washington
enjoy it,
Spies, Revolutionary War era
Oh,
drama.
yeah. I've heard of it. Yeah.
Alexander Rowe's novel.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, I want to see that.
And it was real. I thought it was real good.
For the actors.
And let me tell you what was so good about it was the scenery. Wonderful, wonderful scenery and everything. You felt like you're there.
The actors, I noticed this series, I think it's called Dirty Little Lies, that Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman and Laura Dern are in. Well, you know who's guest starring right now in the little story arc? Meryl Streep, the arguably greatest actress of all time.
Yeah,
and she's on a TV series, which leads me to this point. Now the best roles in dramas for actors aren't the movies, Mike. They're these TV series. Netflix or AMC or HBO.
I tell you who you see a lot on Netflix too.
Amazon Prime
is the great Australian actor Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is in on a lot of those.
Well, it's been really going back to The Sopranos. Maybe it's been the golden age of TV dramas.
Let me say this though: if you got
what was Meryl Streep's breakout role? The Deer Hunter.
I remember her in The Deer Hunter. Yeah.
Boy, she was in Kramer versus Kramer. The one that's the riveting movie that I can't get out of my mind to this day is Sophie's Choice. You know where I saw that? On my senior cruise to the Bahamas. For some reason I was bored and they had a movie on the ship, and I went and watched Sophie's Choice on a cruise liner with Meryl Streep.
Can you remember stuff like that?
To watch the movie on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I was.
On a senior cruise.
Yeah.
But it's one of the saddest, shocking movies you'll ever see, but that acting, it was a tour de force acting role for Meryl Streep.
Y'all talking about the movie earlier about, the one with,
Well, we probably shouldn't start talking about movies, because once you start talking about me, you're going to say, what's the name of it? That's why the site IMBD.com is so great. It stands for International Movie Biography Database. Yeah. If you say, I recognize that actor, but I can't place what else he's been in, you go to that site and it'll give you every role of every actor.
The Deer Hunter, had three great actors on there. Who were they?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Christopher Walken.
Walken. Yeah, he's
and Meryl Streep.
And Meryl Streep, but Christopher Walken is a
great actor.
Very overrated. Very underrated. Very underrated.
I love the Stephen King adaptation, The Dead Zone. He was the guy that could see the future in the past, and he was really good.
He's a great actor. And in fact, the last one he was in was in my.
He's really good in Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio. He's Leo's dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he has a little.
78 years old.
He has a little